Gellaby, thank you. I'm joined now by a man who spent time in 13 different prisons, including Wandsworth, after being convicted of armed robbery. He's since founded Hackney Wick Community Football Club in his efforts to tackle gang violence in his community. Bobby Kasanga, welcome to Jeremy Kyle Live. Mate, just to explain to me, Wandsworth, you heard in that report quite a few high-profile prisoners have escaped. How tight is it compared to the other prisons, the security, the other prisons that you were in, Bobby?
I think it's maybe as lax as all other prisons. The one that I know for sure was very strict was HMP Belmarsh, which I was in, which is, of course, maximum security. But with Wandsworth, it's actually the first adult establishment that I'd gone to after I was first in Feltham, and I got moved to Wandsworth after turning 21. So I don't remember much of it, but I remember the staff were pretty friendly. There was access to mobile phones, as there is in most prisons. But for you to get a job at such a place, you need to have sort of low security. So for him to get a job in the kitchen, as they're saying, it rings a bit of alarm bells there.
I mean, absolutely. And you touched upon Belmarsh there. Belmarsh is famous as the highest security prison, really, one of the highest ones in the UK. And many people have been saying, Bobby, in the last 24 hours, why is a man who's been charged with, you know, supplying secrets to potentially other regimes, making fake bombs, terrorist offences, why was he being kept in somewhere as, not soft as Wandsworth, but compared to Belmarsh, a bit lax, right?
Yeah, 100%, because I was in Belmarsh, and in Belmarsh, it was tough in there. It's 3 man to a cell. You're kind of constricted into sort of spurs, whereas in Wandsworth, you're in sort of long wings that can have up to about 300 people, where in Belmarsh is more sort of constricted. So for him to be in there in the first place, there's something gone wrong higher up, where people have not checked his security, not seen what he's there for. Because usually what happens when you're arrested, you go to a specific court, and that court then will allocate you to a certain prison. So, for example, if you was in, memory serves me right, if you had to go to Highbury Magistrate, they might send you to Thameside Prison. So some prisons are affiliated with certain courts. So I'm thinking that's what's probably happened when he's been arrested. The court that he's gone to, they then sent him to Wandsworth, but no one's made checks.
I got another great example of our justice system. Bobby, so we hear this extraordinary story that he escapes in chef's trousers and a T-shirt, clinging onto the bottom of a food delivery van. Would that mean, unless I'm missing the point, would other prisoners have known? Do you think they would have helped him? Would he need help on the outside? He wouldn't have just come up with this on his own. This would have been planned, wouldn't it?
I think it takes a bit of planning because you wouldn't have just done that spontaneously. Yeah. Like I said, for him to even get a job in a kitchen, because kitchen, you got access to knives and so on. So you got, and it's a privilege to actually get a job in the kitchen, because you're creating making the food for all the other prisoners, some of the staff as well, and you get the perks of sometimes making your own food. So for him to get that security clearance, someone wasn't clearly looking at his case, but you wouldn't have just decided, I'm going to escape just now. So you would have taken some time to plan it. You probably would have seen over time, oh, this van comes here on this day. Check again next week, this day again. And then you look at the security around, well, nobody's manning it, nobody's watching. Because as you leave your classroom, as you leave the kitchen, they're meant to do a roll call, where they count every single prisoner that's leaving. So clearly someone's not done the roll call properly, or they've allowed him to go without checking where he's gone. He might have got help, because, as I said, with most establishments these days, for you to be wearing checkered clothes and to escape when nobody sees you outside.
Bobby, when you lay it out, mate, as you've said, you know, in the wrong prison, no checks, must have planned it, the clothes, it's ludicrous. And another appalling example. Just one question from your time inside, and you described Wandsworth as sort of long corridors, 300. Are prisoners, you know, with plans to escape, is that common? Is that discussed?
Not really. I think the only prisoners who would have those sort of plans are the ones who have been sentenced to life, or they have got murder cases, because they know they might be there for the rest of their lives. And usually if those people are caught trying to escape, or there is any sort of indication that they may escape, they usually put them in a He-Man suit. And the He-Man suit is sort of a bright green and yellow suit that you must wear at all times, and you're then accompanied by a prisoner wherever you go. So by a prison officer wherever you go. So you can't go anywhere without being in the presence of a prison officer. But again, for him to escape in the van, what usually happens before any van leaves or enters the prisons, they usually have a mirror, and they put a mirror underneath the truck to see if anyone's there. So again, someone's clearly missed that.
Bobby Kasanga, an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much indeed for coming on Jeremy Kyle Live. Really interesting description from a guy who spent time in Wandsworth Prison saying, I mean, security laxes everywhere. I'm joined now, it says here, by my brilliant panel. No, I mean...